Hello everyone, good evening, and we are back with a live. And today we will be speaking to Aparna, who has had a very interesting journey with CoVersity, where she was kind of not very sure of what interest should she pursue further, which should be her career. She had a couple of interests, and pretty much that's the case with a lot of teenagers that we see, right? And it would be interesting to know from her how she went about understanding which domain should she pick for her career exploration, and how she went about getting an internship in that domain. So very interesting journey. So I'm just waiting for Aparna to join. Meanwhile, who are joining us newly, would like to tell that CoVersity is a space for youth, teenagers to come together as a cohort and deep dive in their interests by doing client projects, internships, being together as a cohort and kind of figuring out what passion of theirs or what interest of theirs could be their profession. So, okay, so Aparna, I see Aparna is here. Let me add her. Okay, I think she should be added. Yes. Okay, hi Aparna.
Hi, Kitika.
Yes, one second, I'm just adjusting my screen. Okay.
Yeah,
So good evening, and very excited to be speaking to you after a long time. And pretty much this conversation or this live, I'm thinking we'll have it around three topics. One is, how did you, as a teenager, discover or identify what your profession should be like? How did you go about that? Because you had a couple of interests, you had certain hobbies. So how did you navigate that whole space of, okay, this is what I want to go deeper into? That's the first thing we'll understand. Then we'll understand how you went about building your portfolio, networking, getting your internship. And the last bit is the big bit where we'll talk about what all happened in your internship phase. Uh, so let's start with the first one. Tell us all the interests that you had. I know you had like a couple of things you were exploring, and then how did you arrive at a decision to say, okay, mud constructions is what I want to go further into? So maybe share a bit about that.
yeah. As Kitika told before coming to mud construction, I explored quite a lot of things. But two main things which I was going a bit deep into was arts, different types of arts. I was exploring that, as well as electronics. But somehow or somewhere I felt art is I still like art, but it can't be my profession. I still like to do it as hobby, but not full time, spending my 24 by 7 doing it. So that's how I didn't go deeper, more deeper into art. And electronics, it's interesting topic, but I don't want to do it alone or um, do it at the full speed, giving my full attention to it. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't continue it as my professional journey. And that's when I started thinking, what were my interests? Which were the interests which I really liked before, like whatever I've explored before. Then I came to a conclusion as smart construction because I've gone to a few workshops before, which I really liked and enjoyed the workshop totally. That's how I started with mud construction.
Okay, so for all the youth or teens or parents of teens who are, wondering what should be my child's career really, we say go ahead, take time to explore your interest like Aparna did. So I'm just kind of elaborating what Aparna was saying. She did a lot of deep exploration in art. She took up projects in electronics, and by doing intense work in these domains is how she realized that, okay, maybe I like it as a hobby, or I liked it for some time, but this is not something I want to go deeper into. But with mud constructions, she got the confidence by doing a lot of work in that space. So, Aparna, before we go into deeper exploration of mud construction, uh, talk a bit more about what were the things you did on campus in terms of, or otherwise, in terms of mud constructions to say before you went for your internship? What were the things you did to kind of lead you up to the internship?
Okay, so I took up a daily workout, which is basically I'll daily try out a mud plastering daily with a new recipe so that I get more comfortable with different types of plaster and I get to know a bit of the industry knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things which I was doing on a daily basis. I also took up a project. It's a shower room project, so we needed to build a shower room. So I told I'll do it with mud in a wattle and daub method. So I started with designing with materials and all this, and I'm doing that.
Yeah. But Aparna, I want you to go a bit deeper because people are very, people wonder, or parents wonder, or teens also wonder, how did you realize you have to do wattle and daub, all these big industry terms or these terminologies? How did you, as a 13-year-old, figure out that, okay, these are the techniques, or this is the skill I have to build? How do you realize those skills? Tell us that.
Well, there are different types of methods to build walls, but I seriously didn't have even bit of idea of what is a wall.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I started exploring what are the different types of walls built around the world. I started researching a lot about it, using internet, connecting with different people I know or even who I don't know, just calling them or sending them some messages with whatever questions I have. I just messaged them. That's when I got to know like there are different types of walls which can be made, that too with mud, and different measurements, different thickness. Quite a lot of things were only with walls. So th then I came to a conclusion with something which is easy to start with because
Mm-hmm.
even if it's easy, it's a big thing for me at that point.
Right.
So Watland Dog was like the basic stuff. So that's how I started with Wattle and Top.
One very interesting
That,
thing you said, like you messaged people, you asked people, who are these people? How did you find out how to, and how did you approach them? Tell us a bit about that.
well, I didn't have much of contacts. Like I had like three, four people who I knew. I messaged them. And when I searched in Instagram and when I searched in Google, I could find a good list. And people who are in the community also had different people's number. So they also shared. That's how I got to know different people and message them. Even if they didn't have much knowledge, they at least know me that there is someone called Aparna doing mud construction.
Absolutely. So, for folks who are listening to us, the world is very much ready to, help teenagers out in terms of building their expertise, their skill set. That is what we have experienced with the 7 youth who are on this CoVersity journey. Building skill set or, getting that professional expertise, as we say. The only way to get there is by doing industry relevant work. That is how your curriculum, your skill set, everything gets defined as per the industry standards then. Okay, so now maybe let's move to the part of building portfolio and, really kind of getting your first internship. How did you go about that?
Okay, so with internship, I literally knew nothing about math. That's what I told each and every person who I messaged. I am ready to learn. I am ready to do whatever work you give me, but I know nothing. I knew
Mhm.
nothing. So the contacts, whoever I got, like I messaged everybody, even if they don't have any contact or if they didn't have a place where they can give me internship, ask them like, do you have more contacts which you can share with me? So maybe I can connect with them and get an internship. That's how I got my internship at first place.
Sure.
Even if they didn't give me internship, they knew me, as I told before. They got to know that there is someone who is interested in this field.
Right, right. So a rejection or not acceptance is not the dead end. People get to know you, and that's a very important learning that you have shared with us, Aparna. But talk a bit also about, the portfolio. Yes, it may not have been. It's always a work in progress. You're, continuously improving it and stuff. I know your first portfolio, you didn't think it was to the level or anything, but a lot of effort went into that portfolio building. So maybe share a bit about that.
Okay, so for the portfolio, I didn't have much to share about the mud construction. So
Mm-hmm.
I shared a lot about my creative aspects. So I shared a lot about my arts, whatever I've done in
Mm-hmm.
arts. That helped them to realize like how creative I can be, what kind of works can I do. Even in with walls and construction, also you can use your creativity, like maybe you doing mud murals, all those stuff, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they got to know me as a person through that portfolio. And added electronics. Before I also explored co-credential art. So everything, whatever I've done before, everything I added in the portfolio. So they know me as a person, what I am capable of.
Lovely. And all right, now let's talk about your internship. So after how many rejections did you finally land your internship? And then tell us about what happened in the internship.
I guess at least 20 rejections I would have got, at
20.
least.
Okay.
Like I was keep on messaging whatever contacts I could find. I was messaging all of them. I even messaged different places like Auroville and all those, but
Mm,
I somehow landed up like one of the auntie who I know. She gave me a contact of a person who knows mud construction,
mm,
and that mud construction person didn't have any project in her hand currently, so she gave me another contact of another person. That's where how I got my internship. That last person gave me the internship. And
okay.
so the internship was about building a dormitory for a group of children. So they are also a kind of an alternative learning community, and they needed more space, so they were trying to build a dorm. That's where I was working, where I could learn literally quite a lot, like zero to, it's like it was
Yes,
each and every
yes.
day was interesting day. And
Right, right.
I could learn about different types of wall, and I also had the space to explore different things which I wanted to do. It's not that
Mm,
everything they say I'm doing. I do whatever they say, and I also got the space to explore different things which I wanted to.
lovely. Lovely. Very interesting. One aspect you said you had at least 20 rejections. Now, I want to hear from you, who is all of 13 years old, to tell me what all these rejections, how have those rejections shaped you as a person? What has it taught you?
I got to have a clear idea or a good idea about what the industry needs,
Mm,
what the industry needs from me or anyone who they have to work with. Like what were the needs, what should be in their portfolio, what should be they knowing, like different types of walls, as I told. Everybody had those questions, what and all that
okay.
was like one of the very important thing that everybody wanted experience of work. That's
Okay.
one of the key thing which everyone wanted.
Okay, okay. All right. So now, I want you to reflect on your internship phase and tell me, Aparna, who was at zero, as you said, to whatever you've reached so far. Tell us in terms of the skill sets. It could be technical skill sets as well as, those soft skills that you picked up because you did practical work in an internship, a very contextual, relevant, practical doing and working is how you learned. And tell us what all you learned by doing what all things.
Okay, so soft skills wise, I really improved myself as a person before, since I met different people who are there. I could interact with different people where they share their knowledge and their observations. Especially, I could develop a lot of patience because you need a lot of patience for construction. Like while you're doing something, you need to have a lot of patience. You need to do it little by little. You can't finish everything in a single day. So,
Mm.
and failures. If a wall falls down, that's a failure, but you get thousands of learning in that failure. We go and research why did that wall, fall? What
Mm.
was less? Should we add more lime? So that aspect of learning was like the huge importance which I got.
Okay, okay. And in terms of, I remember you saying that you were not very comfortable with researching on Google and, with I know you're more of a on ground, get there, do that, but somewhere you also realize that this aspect is also equally important for your learning. And now I know you do a lot of research work in that sense. So tell us, how has that progress happened?
It wa- it was a bit of getting out of my comfort zone, and that's somewhere I realized it's not that I have to do everything I like.
Uh,
There is some parts where you have to do something you don't like to do what you like. So I needed to do a lot of research work to understand all the process, to understand what I'm doing, and
mm,
I started blogging them. I started writing them down, which really helped me. Like whenever I have a doubt, just that notes helped me a lot. And
mm.
also, I also took up a challenge that daily I will read this much stuff and research this much stuff. Daily a topic so that I can get out of my comfort zone and get more comfortable with
Mm.
researching.
Okay, okay, lovely. Yeah, and somewhere, a lot of people say, okay, these at CoVersity, they will switch their careers, and so once you switch, you will kind of waste whatever you've learned. But I want you to tell people how, even though you're working in mud construction, there's so much of collateral learning, as we say. There's so many things other than your domain that you learn. Like now, for your portfolio, all you guys are looking at, your documentation, blogging, content creation, making videos, editing videos, putting it on social media, creating your social media calendar. I can go on and on, but I want to know from you. I want you to tell everyone, beyond your domain, what are the things that you have learned over the course of this journey?
Well, I have learned quite a lot. As
Mm.
you told, like media was one new thing which I totally learned. I use Instagram, Facebook before, but only for entertainment purpose. You cannot see even a single post in my Instagram account or a single follower.
Mm.
But
Okay.
when you want people to know you and get more connected with the net industry and get a lot of network, you have to get doing with others, connect with
Mm.
industry. So that's when I needed to, do a lot of posts, make contents, create reels, make videos, add captions, learn about hashtags, doing the framework of the Instagram and everything. That was one new huge learning. And I
Mm.
also got to learn the technical aspects, like the technical words of the
Mm.
industry. Like it's common, right? Every industry has its own technical words, but there are a lot of common words which is used in the industry. I got to know a lot of them since each one of us are in one field, and we all got to know different industry, what they do in the industry. So I know what is SEO, I know what is
Mm.
creating a website, I know how editing works. Since others are doing, and me observing a little bit of them helped me a lot.
Yes, absolutely. And them sharing. So when the cohort gets together, they spend a lot of time with each other, kind of bouncing off ideas as to what they're doing in their respective domains. So this really helps them collectively understand a lot of things together. Like someone who is working in mud constructions is thinking of search engine optimization or digital marketing, because there's someone who's doing that in depth. So they kind of, feed off from each other and learn a great deal of things that might be relevant to their domain as well. Lovely, Aparna. Maybe just one last question. That one worry that I get to hear from a lot of parents is, my child is not responsible, or my child is always on phone, or I'm not sure how they'll figure things out. So I want to hear your perspective as a teenager. What do you have to tell those parents who think teenagers can not be responsible, or their child is not responsible? What can work for them?
Well, I was like that before. Like I used to watch a lot of phone, and somewhere in your mind you get the thought, what will your future be like? If you're
Mm-hmm.
doing nothing and seeing everybody around you working sincerely, how will it will actually affect you a lot. Seeing others
Okay.
doing sincere work will really make a great change in yourself. And you will also get the thought, what am I doing? And I'm sure you can't spend 24/7 in your phone or gadgets on wasting time. Somewhere you'll feel bored of doing it. If you ask me to watch a TV or a phone or laptop for one whole day, I can't watch. I feel like doing something else. It's very difficult for me as a person. And watching phone and gadgets doesn't mean you're doing something useless,
Mm-hmm.
because you can do a lot of research work in your phones and tabs, and there are different ways where you can use your gadgets wisely. So that's
Mm-hmm.
also one key point which I feel many parents miss.
Lovely. So, the point that Aparna is trying to drive is, when you are in an environment where there is a lot of doing, action, and you cannot escape that. And that is what we say to parents who are thinking, how will their teen kind of figure things out on a CoVersity journey, who, as of now, they feel are not doing things by themselves. So this whole journey is about being self-directed, designing your own curriculum, designing your life's path. It's all, that's the curriculum you start off with at CoVersity. But yes, the fun part is you get to do this with a group or a cohort of like-minded peers. So that makes it even more interesting. Am I telling anything wrong, Aparna? Tell me.
Having peers is like one of the best things in the world. They push you, they trouble you to do your work, and they're the
Absolutely.
best.
Absolutely. So they hold you accountable and they ensure that you are on the right track. And of course, they're also big emotional support, also. So lovely. Thank you, Aparna, for, those wise words from you, to all the parents, to all the teens who are listening to us. Thank you once again for sharing your journey with us.
Thank you, Kritika.
Bye.